Test. Alright, now we should be back online. There's a number of cars setting in their fast laps now.
Yeah, we have actually the first provisional pole. It's a 1:37.6. We expect that to be changed though, as the cars make the laps.
1:37.665 is the benchmark time right now, set by the Haas of Diaz 140197. Currently 1.325 seconds in front of Clinical Coco in the Ferrari car.
We have a car off the track. It's the Williams of Taco. Okay, I'm not going to pronounce that. But he's off at the chicane, and I hope he's not blocking anyone. No, he's not.
No, safely rejoins the track.
Yeah, good. That's really good to see. Can they hear us now, by the way? Which we hope everything's going the right way. Obviously, it's our first race as commentators in the online sim racing league, so apologies if something doesn't go the right way. We're still working on it, and yeah.
Let's see what Diaz can do on his fast lap. Very soft on the braking there, not braking too late so he doesn't go flying off the track. This left-right turns here would be flat out, near flat out in dry, but of course you now kind of have to brake for them so you can stop the out-braking yourself.
The interesting thing is he doesn't use any extra curbs at all, which tries to get away from him. On this lap. Let's see for this corner. If you just try to go for the exit curb.
No, he stays in between the yellow and white lines on the track. Quite interesting strategy. Do you think that would gain him time?
As he's approaching a back marker now, I hope it lets him. Yes. Which is good to see again. As Wesley has joined back. Good to see.
Can Diaz go faster? Coming into the hairpin of the penultimate turn. Very nice entry and a very nice exit there. Onto the last turn, which would usually be flat out, but of course none of the turns are flat out now. Good exit. Picking up as much speed as you can. Cross the line, and he can't improve. Looked like a good lap, but obviously not good enough. As Reza SV5 in the other Haas, Diaz's teammate, goes second fastest, a 1:38.679. Still 1 second off that benchmark time of a 1:37.665 set by the Haas of Diaz.
So a Haas 1-2 right now. Strong showing. As we still have no clue how the weather will be like in the race.
And still half the field set to do their fast lap.
We actually have a Lewis G time now, which is only 2/10, like 1.5 tenths away from Diaz. So we have actually got a challenger, as it looks like, and yeah, someone's actually managed to get near it.
Hopefully that people can start to challenge for that Diaz time, as Lewis in the Red Bull does make a spin onto the track, but he manages to recover very quickly.
I'm just going to get the track map on. We have a racing point approaching. Who's on this outlap though? There's actually a Mercedes spawn. Which is a Butru. And actually I think a Williams as well. Which is Takoa Boda Bada.
This is Wutru's fast lap as well, so he could come into the pits again after that spin. Oh no, he's warming up his tyres. He might be going again.
Yeah, he probably will be going for another lap.
Let's see what he does. Yep, he's going. Decent exit through the last corner. Does get a little bit of spin on the track, but he manages to recover the car in time. Across the line to start his timing lap. There is a car coming out the pits, but hopefully she does get out the way, which it does. Very nice turn in the chicane, using some of the exit curb, trying not to lose the car, which is quite common there, especially in the dry as well. Quite an oversteery track. Quite heavy on the braking into turn 3, not as heavy as the Diaz in the Haas car. Nice entry and exit on the car, on the curb. Once again, not using the entry curb, but using the exit curb on that turn there. Quite a heavy breaker I've noticed as well. Do you think this would lose or gain him any time?
I actually don't know what is the optimal way in the wets.
He does nearly lose the car through there. Doesn't use any curb on entry, but uses a bit on exit, but mainly keeping the car in between the lines on the track. Keeping to the outside towards the chicane. Here I am. As he swoops the car inside into 5th, as Wutru shows us. Not using any of the curb, which might have been a mistake, but luckily he didn't spin. To the double right-hander now, not using any entry curb, but using the exit curb once again, as he showed us throughout the lap. No curb here. Coming towards the last couple turns, which the penultimate turn is a hairpin, going very deep, so deep he goes on the grass, and that is going to ruin his lap. As MWRL Kyle comes across the final turn, about to start his flying lap, but is Wutru getting in his way? We'll see. It looks like he will, as it looks like they might be having a race. Car has to back off. As Wutru does spin. That's disappointing for Kyle, as he's just about to start his flying lap, but Wutru does not slow down despite losing the car in the last couple turns. Ends up losing the car in turn 2 as well. Once again, as we may see many drivers do, losing the car on the exit curb of turn 2. Very commonplace to lose a car there. As he cuts the track.
Yeah, actually cuts it, which is...
Wutru does cut the track, which I do believe is against the rules.
Against the rules, yeah. And actually remember it from season 2 in Italy, where it was clearly said that something like that will be penalised. Obviously, in
let's see
Italy,
let's see what Taco Dobada can do. Sorry if I mispronounced that name. In the Williams, currently with a 1:39.027 on his fast lap, hoping to gain some of the time on the still pole to Diaz 1:40.197 in the Haas car.
Actually warming up his tyres in his lap, as it looks like Lucas has rejoined.
Diaz did set a new fastest time as well,
1:35.
as the Williams goes off.
That is a mega lap from the... Have a look.
Only 4.5 minutes left in the quali session now.
Yeah, from the driver.
And there's a Haas. There's a yellow flag in sector 3.
We do have Coco looking to do it on the Inters. Is it? Oh yeah, and Taco has managed to spin here.
Clinical Coco looks like maybe taking a risk going out on these Inter tyres in these wet conditions. He may be able to set a lap, but I'm not exactly sure if the track has dried up enough for those Inters yet.
As we actually hear the news, it will be wet in the race. According to Kyle, it's going to be heavy rain in the race. I hope that's true, because it could also be talking about qualifying right now. We get a 5-place grip penalty for collision with Kyle.
That is the Lewis G Red Bull. Currently P3 at 1:37.823. Going very slow now.
Over the track here. Who's that? We actually don't know what's going on right now. We've got 2 drivers on the racing line. Actually in AI.
Let's watch Diaz now, on an out lap, coming into the last few turns now to start another flying lap on the wet tyres, the opposite of what Clinical Coco has done. And let's see if he can improve that time of a 1:35.955.
Coco is out on the intermediate tyre. Now what's that going to change? Is it going to be faster maybe? Last year, obviously, everyone knows it, sometimes in the wet, the data was misleading and the inter tyre was faster even though the MFD said otherwise. But that has been changed this year.
Let's go on board. Using the exit curve on turn 2, nearly losing the car, but manages to keep it in a straight line. He does seem to be gaining more speed than on the wet tyres, but has to brake heavily and earlier so he can make the apex. Turns 4, taking the curb on entry and exit, nearly losing the car, and turn 5, braking more, entry, curb, going quite slow there. Perhaps, do you think he's made a mistake going on the Inters?
Yeah, I think he has. We will see at the first... No, he's actually passed the first second. Yeah, and he slowed down. He's aborted the lap.
Let's go back with Diaz now, about to approach the fast left-right chicane in sector 2. One of the fastest turns on the track, but not in the wet. 5th gear, very smooth there, using the curb on exit. Nearly losing the car, but once again, does manage to keep it in a straight line. Double right-hander, entry curb, exit curb, flat out to the next right-hander, not using the other entry curb, but using the exit curb and nearly spinning into the last couple turns, braking quite heavily, going off track, and that's going to ruin his lap.
He's aborted his lap. He's still got a big margin though, and if no one really manages to improve by 2-3 seconds, I think the pole position is probably his. And yeah. Do we have any other driver having a go at this lap then?
Let's see, we still got the McLaren of MWRL Kyle and the Renault of Lucas DR3 to set a time. Looks like Kyle's about to go on his fast lap now. Let's ride on board with him for a bit.
Lucas has been disconnected from the majority of the session.
Oh, he just did his lap.
And is 16th.
He needs to set another lap now.
And I think Lucas is staying in the box. Yeah, he will not get in a lap today. Which is a shame really. But the race is long, everything can happen. And as it's reported, it's going to be wet. Who knows?
Looks like a very nice Sector 1 from the McLaren of MWRL Kyle here. Let's see what he can do in Sector 2.
think this, yeah, South has just gone second fastest with a lap that's still about a second lower than the time from the Haas driver.
It looks like nobody is going to be able to catch him at this point. I mean, as well, a very good effort from most of the drivers as well. Some of them only setting one lap and still getting into the top 10.
Yeah, the field is really stretched out here from the 135s to the 150s.
Double right-hander now for Kyle. Nice braking, entry and exit curb.
But this may be the first...
It looks like the conditions have improved as well.
Improved, yeah. It's definitely into time now. This...
And he is aborting.
This actually maybe danger the time from Diaz. Can someone get that few tenths? Because this is basically...
Well, South in the Ferrari is on another lap. Will he be able to gain a second, though, on the Haas?
It's about this crashed. Sorry.
I don't think he crashed, he just retired the car.
Yeah, he was in the wall.
Staying in second gear for the last turn for South's Ferrari. Very interesting. What can he do? It's not an improvement. It's still P2. And unless Lewis G can do anything about that, Diaz will have the first pole of the season.
Lewis G has a grip penalty, remember?
Oh, yes. So
that is confirmed then. We have Diaz on pole. And
I mean, let's just say now a very outstanding qualifying by Diaz 140.197, getting pole by nearly 1 whole second at a wet Australian track.
You can definitely say that this was dominant, and this is Lewis Hamilton territory, if you remember Styria.
So there is the grid for the first race of the season in OSRL at Australia. Of course, the top three being Diaz 140.197 in that Haas car. Very outstanding lap by him. Second is South 32 in the Ferrari. Again, a very good lap, beaten.
Oh, and the J Argon is actually crashed now. Oh, he retires. Yeah, he retires.
He beats the racing point by 0.6 of a second, but is still 1 whole second off of the Haas car. And then a racing point in third. Quite a mixed grid today. Of course, Lewis G 92 picking up the 5th-place grid penalty.
So we look at qualifying then. An outstanding lap from Diaz has put him on pole. The first pole for the Haas and the first pole position of the season. In second we have South, the German driver in the Ferrari on P2. Outstanding lap, 0.6 away, a second away and 0.6 away from third, which is Franchise, the Colombian driver, with a good lap, still 1.5 seconds away, all on the full wets, remember. Then we have Coco in the Ferrari, Lewis G, who has a 5th-place grid penalty, Razor in P6, and they skipped it, so we can't actually go through it anymore. Oh dear, it's rain again.
Looks like it's going to be even heavier than qualifying.
It's about as heavy as the start of qualifying. And the big talking point is whether the rain will change, if it will get dry.
I mean, as it stands right now, it looks like this rain is going to be relentless for the whole of qualifying. Looks like it's not showing any sign of calming down. If this was real life, the track might nearly be flooded.
Yeah, it looks like my mic is still not really. I had a few tweaks, but it's looking like it's not really optimal still. we were going to we're going to investigate this, and apologies for today. This will be changed, and yeah.
As the formation lap gets underway. So
yeah, the pit stop strategy is looking like a one-stop.
quick rundown of the grid for you guys. Of course, it was skipped. Diaz in the Haas, a very dominant lap by him once again. Then the South in the Ferrari. Once again, another good lap in front of the Racing Point, but nowhere near enough to challenge for top spot. Then we have Franchise, the Colombian Racing Point driver. Another solid lap, but still not enough for the front row of the grid. Then in fourth place, Clinical Coco, only setting one lap today on those wet tyres. Ferrari 2-4, very good performance by them so far. And then in fifth place, Reza SV5 in the other Haas, Diaz's teammate. And once again, all these drivers have been quite solid, but none of them have had enough in the tank to challenge for the front row of the grid. Ross G, 23, in the first Red Bull P6 after his teammate got a 5-place grid penalty halfway through qualifying for collision with the McLaren of MWRL Kyle. Then it's Taco Dobada, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, in the first Williams P7. In P8, the Alfa Romeo Milza 04. P9, Foxtrot 06 in the second Williams, a 7-9 for them. In P10, Lewis G 92, the second Red Bull, would be starting P5, but an unfortunate grid penalty at the start of qualifying demotes him to P10.
Drivers here in this formation lap, it looks like Kyle and MWRL Kyle have come together. They will not be able to warm up the tyres, as we see the predicted pit stop strategy again, and it is really treacherous out there. You can see the raindrops coming down. If it
Loads of standing water.
Yeah, lots of standing water. I hope they actually make it through here. We don't want any crashes or spins.
We don't want any early safety cars. We want to see some racing.
We want to see the racing, the pure racing, and when they're not behind the safety car in the wet, they're so good to watch.
Do you think that these guys would play it safe and go for the 2-stop, or play aggressive and go for the 1-stop and go the rest of the race?
I think they're going to go 1-stop if it actually remains full wet throughout the race. If it actually goes, if it goes to into condition, they will definitely probably stop more.
Yeah.
If it actually dries out, they will probably have more than 2 stops. And yeah.
The rest of the grid lining up now.
As Lucas is in his slots, and
it is the first race of the OSRL season
3 in Tier 2, and
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's away. OSRL season 3 Australia, a wet one, may I say as well, very wet, standing water everywhere on the track. Very good getaway from the Haas. Ferrari of, sorry, my thing on the left is getting messed up, and it is a safety car. I don't know, not sure what happened there. It's towards the back of the grid. It's the Haas of Reza SV5.
Yeah, Lewis, everyone's been in carnage at the back. We have Lewis, who was spun round.
The timing screen seems to be messed up, but once again, I can see that Diaz's Haas is still in first place, and Ferrari now make it a 2-3.
Gladly I can say that this is going to change after the formation lap, after the first lap, and yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is, back to normal.
Yeah, and we have Diaz in the lead, as it's a safety car, so we won't have any changes apart from pit stops. Yes, we have the Williams battling there, and there's crashes. I think someone's come together. Yeah.
Is it the 2 Williams? Did the 2 Williams make a collision?
The 2 Williams have crashed, I think. Or was a bit of a lag, because they keep on switch position now. Stopped. Yeah. And I'm actually checking for warnings, if anyone's actually got an early warning here. For corner cutting, yeah, we have Foxtrot with a warning. We've got 5-second penalties. Lewis has got 10 seconds already. Foxtrot has got one 5-second penalty, and we have Cryptox Plus with a 5-second penalty as well. So, and I think Milder just came together with Ross as Fox goes into the pit to serve his penalty. So does Vuchu. A 5-second penalty for Foxtrot for speeding in the pit lane. That doesn't help.
Multiple cars coming in the pits now.
Yeah, probably for front wing change. No real strategy need here.
Oh, that would be a collision in real life between Root True.
We've got many penalties here. As it looks like, I'm just gonna look in the race director. We've just got 5-second penalties. Coco for South. South's got a collision with Coco. They both got 5 seconds. We've got Diaz, Roschi, and Milzer all got penalties for collisions. So we might have got a few penalties already served in the pits, but these 5 will not be served.
I mean, of course, not too much changes at the top half of the grid, but quite a few at the bottom half.
Is this maybe, looking at the rain, is this the monsoon rain that causes a safety car?
Might be.
The conditions just got worse.
Well, if a safety car does happen in lap 1, turn 1, and there are no DNFs, it might as well be a rolling start.
Yeah. The fans hate to see it. We all know it.
Bit like Germany 2019.
No, that was a stunning start anyway. But
oh yeah.
We remind ourselves of Britain 2016 or Brazil 2016, all races that probably would have been a bit better if they had a standing start. And yeah, so we have got Diaz and the AI trying to save his tyre wear, which actually works. The Renaults are switching positions here, as Cryptox is about to lag out here.
Team orders, do you think?
Clinica Coco, no, he's lagging out right now. We've got 2 people in the pits, Clinica Coco and Milza, to serve the penalties. I don't know if that's really it. Oh no, they're changing front wing, because they had collisions. And Milza, also front wing change. And yeah. I wish we could see what the weather is going to be like, as DS almost hits the safety car.
That would have been bad for him.
And another penalty, Foxtrot has been given a 5-second time penalty.
If this carries on, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 1 or 2 disqualifications.
Yeah. We're definitely happy that we've still got all 17 drivers in this race. Remember, we're in the full wet conditions. I forgot another penalty. Hubley has to give him a 5-second penalty for collision with Lucas. Oh dear.
Let's just look through the penalties really quick.
Yeah, we've got so many. And we're happy.
Diaz has been given a 5-second penalty.
Oh, drive-through. We've got drive-through. Foxtrot has been given a drive-through penalty for falling too far back. Where is he? He's I feel for him. He was just catching up right now.
I don't think that's his fault. He can't really do much about that.
And he's got damage as well. He's got massive damage. So we'll have to go through the pits. Just change. Yes.
And the safety car is in this lap. That's going to ruin his race, unless there is another safety car. But once again, it is like a rolling start with Diaz.
Oh dear! Oh dear! Someone's just crashed again. Oh dear, Coco!
What happened there?
No
And Lewis retires.
No way. What the hell?
What is happening here?
We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. We just had a driver going full speed into someone else under the safety car.
I didn't see that, but I'm sure Philippe did.
Bad sportsmanship. Yeah, I have to.
As the safety car is Is it in this lap? It is.
It is
As
in
Diaz
this
the
lap.
Haas will get us underway. Let's see if he can retain his P1 position off the restart. Coming across the line to start the OSRL season. Australia, quite a wet race, still loads of standing water. Rain has calmed down a bit, but Diaz in the Haas has managed to keep his P1, South P2, Franchise P3, and that is your current top 3 spots so far.
We have a yellow flag in sector 3 as Hubley has actually managed to spin in the straight line. I hope he wasn't taken out by someone, because he was in the middle of a park on pit straight. So if I can just explain what happened there, it was from my view, Foxtrot running around with no wing, and Coco came in full speed and took his rear out.
Speaking of Coco, he's trying to go round the outside at turn 6, but he does get pushed onto the grass. It's not his fault.
Oh, and I think Milzer just spun it. Yeah, Milzer from colliding.
Diaz the Haas car storming ahead right now. Already nearly got a 2-second gap to the cars behind. You could just see South in the background of your shot there. 2.1 seconds behind and counting.
No need for playing bumper cars. It was literally swerving around in the chicane.
MWRL Kyle gets past. MWRL car gets past Kyle 33838. Looked to be quite a smooth overtake.
And I think at the back, Woodrow is getting overtaken as he almost loses.
Let's see if straight line speed will have an effect here.
Goes away from the slipstream so you can see something. Got a corner of it, which is actually okay at this track. Everyone knows it. As Kyle loses a position, he spun it. No.
He's still in the race. He managed to recover maybe just a little bit of a love tap, but goes down the inside of Wootru. Wootru does a perfect switchback. That is a great switchback from Wootru.
And he's still side by side.
Ooh.
And Kyle forces him off the track, which is
I'm not sure how that. I'm not sure how that looked from Wootru's position.
Oh dear, Foxtrot. He's got another 5-second penalty. He's now got a drive through, another broken wing. And at the same time, he's got 3 or 4 5-second time penalties. Oh dear, a race to forget for him, that's for sure.
Not the way you want to start off your season. Yellow flag, sector 2. It's a Ferrari. It's Clinical Coco.
And he's lost his wing. Yeah, he will
Let's
go back
watch.
to the pits for that.
Back to the pits for him. Manages to not lose a wheel, which is good as well. But this race just goes from bad to worse.
Which is, look here, if you've got anyone got all in the full wets, I think.
Let's go on board with the Renault of Cryptox Plus, looking to make an impact on the Red Bull of Ross G23. Nice exit of the last turn, but Ross seems to get the better of him. Let's see what they can do in Sector 1.
Cryptox actually
Debris.
in the corner there.
Is that debris or just leaves?
It looks like leaves. Like, if you have a look in the TV cam, there's leaves everywhere. Yeah. 6 tenths between them. We have actually Takoba. He's about 4 tenths away from franchise. He has to slow down, otherwise he wouldn't have made the corner.
Diaz now has a 5.2 second gap, now 5.3 second gap, now 5.4. How much is this going to keep on growing?
Yeah, he's really storming away in these conditions. In the Ferrari, in the wets, you love to see it. Not in the Ferrari, in the Haas. Sorry, I was on the wrong driver.
We are keeping on board with Cryptox Plus here as he looks to try and make a move into the chicane on the Red Bull of Ross G23. Still tucking in behind that Red Bull car. Very close here. Can he make a move done before lap ends?
And I was just wondering, at this pace, can Diaz manage to lap the whole field? He's gaining one. Oh no! Oh, we've got a red flag, and it looks like it's Milder this time. Yeah, but he's got away with it.
That
No
was a
damage.
yellow flag in Sector 3. No damage, manages to keep the car in a straight line.
Yeah, I don't know if he's kept.
And here goes Cryptox. Gets pushed onto the curb, and he does get past. That's a great exit from the Renault.
Oh dear, what was that? He almost swerved into him.
That is a great exit from Cryptox Plus in the Renault. Tucks in front of the Red Bull.
And Ross G, both lost it, both lost it.
Both lost it,
dear.
that is damage.
Damage. And yeah.
Let's
really
go on board here with the Renault.
And
that was a great move. Oh.
Yeah. Oh dear, Cryptox has lost it completely now.
As he does get a 3-second penalty for using the escape road, which I can't see why. That's what the escape road is for, so you avoid penalties. Good sportsmanship, letting the cars pass.
And there's another yellow flag, yeah. Cryptox again. Well, that's so unfortunate, Cryptox getting the move done. And both him and Ross G spinning Cryptox in the worst, completely in the barrier. Ross G managed to get away with it. And yeah, Kalish, Reza, and another Kyle.
Let's go on board with the fight for 7th. It is the fight for 7th here, beginning with Ross G and ending at P11 of J Argon in the racing point. It may be Ross G has to pit for damage because of turns 1 and 2. He did lose the car a bit, does he not?
He lost the car a bit, but not in the barriers.
Yeah.
We could see out of his foot. Like,
Kyle's slowing down a bit. Going deep, very deep in fact, on the grass. Should get the move done on the outside. And he
touches him. Oh dear, Kyle. Oh dear. And I hope he doesn't have too much damage. He actually does no damage. But yeah, and
as here goes J Argon, tries to get the double move down, which he does. Very good move from him. Capitalises on the fight from the McLaren and the Mercedes of Wutru and Kyle, and he dives down the outside into turn 1s and 2, gets the move done, and now can he push for the top 6?
Yeah, I think the top 5 is quite a while away. If you have the track map if you have got the track map on, and we've got a yellow flag. Wutru this time has spun it, and I hope it's.
He does have damage. That is the end plate of his front left wing.
Not just the end plate. I think the whole thing is gone, like the whole right side. That is like similar to red wing, which you actually have to box for. We see the first driver on Intus. Milda is on the Intus now.
Let's see if he can gain some time on the cars in front.
The rain has looked to calm down for a bit. But
I think maybe this is the right time for Inters, if the standing water clears.
Yeah. Will be interesting to see what the leaders do. Will they pit? Will they don't? Will they not?
Nearly a 10-second gap now for Diaz in the Haas.
As franchise, and yeah. I think there's a yellow flag here.
That is Kyle. And he has retired.
Yeah.
What happened there then? Was it just a natural spin? Was there perhaps contact?
And then retired, like gave up. I'm really sure that he didn't. Yeah, he's carrying on. That was like a retirement.
Let's focus on the fight for 6th here. Reza SV5 and Ross G23 closing up the gap very well. Let's see what he can do down here.
We can see Mills struggling on his Inters. He's just lost the position after being 2 seconds up on him. So yeah, Foxtrot has actually managed to overtake someone in this race. I thought he was completely down on everyone. It just looked like
ooh, that was close there between Reza and Ross.
And I would expect Mills to come in for another set of full wets now. He actually stays out. Kyle is out of this race completely now. Yeah. J Argon has just got past Reza, as it said on my time screen. I haven't got it fully. We have having a look on J Argon, but he doesn't get the exit.
Let's watch the fight for 6th there.
Yellow flag again. What's happened? I don't see anything on the map, so yeah.
It is Ross G, J Argan, Reza SV5 in the fight for the top 6.
Yeah, I would say Cal as well. He's like 4 tenths behind him.
Oh yes, I didn't see him.
And J Argan is a bit far away from Ross G. 23. Yeah. The Scottish driver, about 13 seconds away from Lucas DR. Yellow flag again, and it's Cryptox Plus. Unfortunate spin, not seen as if it was self-inflicted or contact with another driver possibly. Now it's a battle for seconds if you want to look on that. Oh no, Ross G, just as I said it, he spun it and he's got damage. Oh dear. Heartbreak for the Red Bull driver. His brother already out of this race. And
now
doesn't look any better for the second Red Bull driver.
another reason to dampen the spirits of the Red Bulls. Sorry for the bad pun.
We have a yellow flag again, and it's Vouch. Yeah, another spin from Vucho, and that's completely in down the order now. As Mills gets past on the Inters. The Inters are definitely the fastest tyre now. Yeah, look at Mills' gap.
He is just closing and closing and closing.
I'm not sure. He's not closing anymore. For some reason. Ross G pits. Does he go for the Inters or the wets? That could give us an indication of what the actual best tyre is. He goes for the full wets. No, the Inters. And he's got a 5-second penalty for good measure as well.
He does go for the Inters. Does he think those are the faster tyre now?
I think that's the fastest tyre now. It's been like light rain for 5 laps.
Diaz in the Haas car, just cruising at this point. Believe he's already lapped Cryptox Plus.
Yeah, if you can see that there's quite a few drivers who have had a spin.
Oh, is what's happened to Foxtrot? He spins.
2 yellow flags now. Cryptox, I think, as well.
Witchery pits for Inters as well. And he spins. And that is a lot of wing damage. As South leaves the session in the Ferrari, currently in 3rd. He lagged out. That is not good for the fight for the 1st place. Drops even more positions now. Let's go on board with him. Yeah, it's his AI now. Just brakes so incredibly early in these turns.
Top, I think, yeah, look, Taco, no, actually lap car. Vucho getting a bit faster on the Inters, actually way faster. Look at it. Look at him go.
Of course, the car in front of him, Foxtrot, with damage and on the wet tyres as well. South rejoins as Reza gets a 3-second time penalty. Owen Hubley spun in the McLaren.
I think yeah.
Has he got damage, or is that just to the tyres? He has got damage.
Quite clear that the Inters is now, like the Inter tyre is now the faster tyre.
Do you think that we would start seeing more people box, especially the front runners?
I think we will see more box, and maybe they won't, and want to maybe try go instantly from wet to dry, as Lucas is on the grass. Has Taka Adobada.
Diaz needs to be very careful now, nearly losing the car multiple times.
Yeah, it's going down to franchise. I don't know how worn the wets are.
He might be pitting about now for the Inters. Seems they are the faster tyre.
Yellow flag again. Is it the Renault of Cryptox? Yes, it is.
Which gets a pen. Let's see what Diaz does. Does he go for another lap, or does he dive into the pits? We'll find out now. Let's see what he does. And he goes into the pits. Most likely for intermediate tyres now. The track is starting to dry up a bit more. Let's see if the cars follow him, and they do. Will Lucas do the same? He does, and the top 3 are all pitting. Top 4, in fact. Everyone is starting to pit for the intermediate tyres as Diaz serves his 5-second penalty.
Jay Argon stays out, so does the Haas of Razor. Interesting. Do they maybe really want to go all the way to the dry tyres? I'm really not sure that's actually going to be...
Jay Argon and Reza staying out. Reza in the other Haas car into P3, but surely he won't be there for long.
Coco with damage actually is in now. Yeah. We actually have in the chat, we've got people saying, please show Foxtrot.
Well then, let's go to Foxtrot. Still on those wet tyres, only on one lap. Was that a mistake for him not to pit? Been on the wet tyres for one lap.
He's fighting with his Williams teammate right now. Unfortunately for him though, his teammate is lapping him.
He is literally wrestling that Williams car through the track now.
Has he lost this race by pitting for the wrong tyre? I mean, he has to do another pit stop now with the Inter.
As MWR car gets a 3-second pen.
So does franchise. We have people in the chat asking for who
Foxtrot spins.
Yeah, if you could. Yeah, I see it. Oh dear.
Looks like is he? He is rejoining the track and he has retired.
Yeah, Hublé. If you could show him for the fans, the best fans, you know. The McLaren in P13 right now, and the new Inters looking to close the 17-second gap here.
Reza finally pits.
Jay Aaron's still staying out right now. Is that a mistake? I rather think so.
Diaz still pulling cars lengths as the Racing Point teammates get into a fight, but of course,
Team orders,
Franchise
maybe.
on the Inters eases past him.
Jay, it's James.
Surely he has to pit now to salvage something of this race.
Yeah, he has to pit. Does he go from the wets to the dries, as I said? I don't know. He's got nothing to lose, really.
Is he trying to hold out
Yeah,
for the dries?
If he goes to the dries straight away, but I think he would puncture these tires. Not gonna lie. He just really.
Let's see what he does.
He goes into the pits.
Is he gonna take the gamble and go on those dries?
No, you would
Surely
be
he can't.
You can't. That's way too. Yeah, that's way too wet. If it's really drying out, that's like 5 laps too early.
He goes on the Inters.
And
now we have the full grid on Inters tyres.
Yeah. Before the stops,
will he keep P6 as he exits the pits? No, he doesn't.
7th by a big gap now. Yeah. Yeah, and Ali, I can just agree that Jay has a Ferrari strategist, because that was definitely not the right thing to stay out 3 laps.
Let's focus back on Diaz in the Haas car. Again, pulling out car lengths and car lengths of the car behind, which is Franchise, the Colombian Racing Point driver. Still holding out for P2, but being pressured by Taco Dobardo once again. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, in the Williams car.
Yeah, and it looks like, as we see, Diaz getting even a bigger gap now. About staying at 13 seconds. We've not even seen him in the dry yet, as all sessions so far have been wet weather affected. So if he's even better in the wets, we're in for a real threat here. So according to the...
Do you think that after seeing his performance right now, do you think he would hope that every race is a wet one?
Yeah. We've obviously not seen him in the wet, in the dry yet. If he's better in the dry, then maybe he will. Once he doesn't really mind what the weather is like. Yeah, and he still I rise, as it's been said in the chat. Definitely going the Hamilton way. And if he continues like that, he might as well win this race and have a good shot at the championship.
It is Ross G23 in the Red Bull and Mills 04 in the Alfa Romeo fighting down the finish straight.
He's at the wall. Diaz is hit the wall. Has he got damage? I can't see it from here. I'm looking off the camera. And he has light damage, that's like lime green, but not race changing damage. But he has hit the wall at the exit of turn 7. And that could have been a nasty accident if he hit it a bit faster. Or a bit more towards the wall, because it was like sliding into it.
As here goes Milzer round the outside of Ross G. Can't get the move done just yet. Gets a much better exit though. Ooh, oversteer.
As we keep a look on Diaz. He's controlling this race. The going is going to get tough as the track dries out, and if it dries out, then we will have a sprint on the softs. As we know, the soft can last 11 laps, which is now, if it dried out now, you could see everyone on soft. And this is what we want, everyone pushing, everyone going flat out. Good racing in that.
The track is getting drier and drier. Do you think that maybe these drivers will pit for the dries before the end of the race? Only 11 laps left now.
If the rain completely stops, then they will. And I think they would all go on the softs. Yeah. I'm a bit afraid about Milzer. He made that really early call on the inters, and I don't think if it stays intermediate condition, he will not make the end. I'm afraid. He went about 3 laps earlier than the second driver to pit for the inters. I think Ross and Vutra will just about get away with it. Unsure about Milzer. Will he have to pit again for the inters if it doesn't dry out? So we're just going to look on penalties with Diaz, who's got 5 seconds. He served that in the pits. We've got Franchise, who's got 1 penalty and another penalty served in the pits. We've got the Japanese driver, I cannot pronounce. Apologies for that. I'm just going to call him Taco here. 1 warning, nothing else. Lucas DR, he's got a penalty served in the pits. Nothing else, a warning. South has got 2 5-second turn penalties. I don't know if he served both. If he has,
Let's see if Clinical Coco's Ferrari can put the pressure on Milz's 04's Alfa Romeo. Is it only 4, 3 tenths, 2 tenths, 1 tenth, under a tenth as they get towards the first couple turns, and he does get the move done. That is smooth moves from the Ferrari, or is it?
Coco, he's lost it on the exit, and that smells it back through. Does he go for the second move into the tight?
No, he doesn't.
It's not a hairpin, but a tight.
Very well done, managing to get the car stopped in time there. Broke very late.
And now Milder's back with a 5-10 gap, but that's going to disappear as he's actually gone through slow and has lost another 10th. On braking, another 10th probably. Yeah, no, Milder gets away better. So as we look back, that's the only fight we have right now. Sau's about 1 second, so is Ross G away from the next guy, and he goes on the grass, Clinical Coco with a mistake, and we don't have DRS, but this is going to, no it's not, I was going to say it's going to pull him out of the DRS, but he stayed within a second, and he's gaining again, 6 tenths. You see that gap coming down now. Will he eventually go for the move? Not
Clinical Coco does have lots of ERS to play with, compared to Mills only has 20%.
20%. And we see Mills is going low on fuel. He's not got enough fuel to complete this race. He will have to fuel save. Meanwhile Coco, we don't know how much he's got to burn, but he's got more to burn than Mills.
The rain looks like it is going to stop anytime soon.
We don't know. We have no weather reports, so we're just gonna commentate on what we see, because it doesn't look like it's stopping, as it has been like that for the past 3 laps.
Let's go to
Obviously,
Ross G and Reza SVS in the Haas.
The Mercedes, Vutru again in the wall, and he's completely lost the front wing now. Both end plates gone, and he's spun again. No, it's just, yeah, look at Vutru. What the hell is he doing?
I'm focusing on the fight between Ross G's Red Bull and Reza's Haas.
Yeah, I think Vutru's giving up now.
Let's see what Ross G can do. 40% ERS for Ross compared to 70% of Reza. ERS is on Reza's side.
South pits. What does he go for? Inters. And he will come out behind the McLaren of MWR Kyle. And comfortably ahead of the Racing Points.
Ross G was gaining, but isn't anymore. He's falling away from him. As Clinical Coco picks up a 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane. What tyre does he go to? It's on the inters again.
So
let's go to Diaz.
I think that's suggesting that we won't have any dry period again in this race. I think they're all going to go to the end on these inters. Unsure about those who took it early. maybe that was the approach from Jay. Try go to the inters as late as possible, so yes, the freshest inters can go to the end. I'm not sure if those 2 laps will make such a difference.
Let's focus on Diaz again. He does have damage, but he's managing it very well. Albeit not very much. He has minor damage.
Minor damage, yeah, I know.
Minor damage, but he does seem to be managing it well.
Well, not gaining, but best going away from
creating
everyone.
a gap.
Such a dominant drive. Shout out to him. That is really, really good showing from the Haas driver.
He speeds past the wall here. Coming to the fast, left, right.
Has posted another yellow flag.
It's Wucher again.
And yet again.
And he has got damage.
Again, just figured this out. Mirza pits, as I said, he can't go to the end. Oh, he's just pitted. He's on a new set of inters in 11th. Who's got the fastest lap?
Speaking of Milza, Diaz seems to be closing the gap and could lap him before the end of the race. I do believe it is Diaz, by the way, with the fastest lap so far.
Yeah, by 1 second, about 6 tenths faster than the next fastest lap. Nah, 4 tenths it actually is. He's gone better than this, yeah, obviously, because the qualifying lap was on full wets. Perko gets a penalty now.
I can't see this race going any other way unless Diaz somehow manages to spin the car as South gets the fastest lap. Wucher pits again. He leaves the session without retiring.
Yeah, his 7th front wing of the session. Oh dear, Vuchu's AI is just taking the pit lane.
Diaz takes a bit of a grass.
That was one of the weirdest bugs I've ever seen in this game. As Vuchu's AI has taken the pit lane absolutely flat out. Didn't gain any time, he's 47 seconds off.
Let's head on board with South 32, catching the McLaren of MWRL Kyle. On the fresher tyres with the fastest lap. He does have the momentum. But Kyle has ERS on his side.
Yeah, South's running out a bit, you know, never know about the fuel. Which actually Kyle is running low on fuel. Does he have to go lean now to save it? Because as it looks like, he will not be able to make the end of the race with the current fuel. South is gaining.
Overtake on.
Available.
And the toe. He's gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining. Side by side into turn 1. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Can he get it done by turn 3?
No, it's not. It's a damage. I think he has. No, it's not.
See, he blazes past. Not damage that I can see.
Yeah, it doesn't. Cryptox get no penalties. 13, quite away from everyone. Oh dear, South. Oversteer. Almost. Spins it. And... oh dear again. South's got to watch out. If he doesn't get this under control, eventually he will lose it, and we do not want to see that. And now they approach the fastest part of the track. And runs the curb, almost slides again. Overtake deactivated. Not harsh on the brakes. And into the grass he goes. No. A big mistake. Corrected as he was running wide. Had to correct himself. But
Cryptox gets another 5-second penalty.
Yeah, Kyle has made another mistake, so that's equal out again. And as they go to finish this lap 25 here.
MWRL, Kyle opting not to use any overtake here.
Lincoln Cook gets another penalty, he's in 10th. But we don't know how the penalties will pan out in the end. Late on the brakes again, Kyle protects the inside and the outside at the same time, bit in the middle of the road. But that's okay as long as South isn't anywhere near him, and 4/10 is still a big gap, if you ask me. Track doesn't look to get any better now. We will probably finish this race.
Kyle is dealing with this pressure quite well.
Yeah. On the old Intus, actually the oldest Intus, except Ross G, on the grid.
Ooh,
and
bit too much exit curb there.
Yeah.
That's the thing about that turn there. You want to take the exit curb to maximise speed, but you don't want to take it the whole way.
Yeah, and then the grass at the end. And we've seen that in the last 3 laps of the same driver. And every time it's costing him.
Does get a good exit though.
And now with overtake available, will he actually do it? No, he backs out again. No overtake down the inside there in the wet. He will go it the safe way. He will try it the safe way on the main straight. Yet again, run down to the hairpin.
Getting more ERS now, but Kyle has 10% more.
Now, he has it.
Here we go. Could this be it? Could this be 5th place? Overtake active for both drivers.
Yeah.
He's gaining.
Still unlucky.
Trying to go round the outside once again.
Ooh. Cal gets a penalty. Oh dear, oh dear. And he hits the wall. No damage though.
No visible damage. He does get a penalty, as he may not be able to get past, but as long as he does stay within that gap, if he doesn't have any penalties.
Yeah. We've seen both drivers come together. The one driver gets away with it, the other driver doesn't. But the driver got away with it, has now got a penalty to play with. And a 3-second gap he will probably not be able to get. But we don't know. We can actually check here how many penalties they have. Yeah, I think South's got 1 penalty.
Here goes South, and he hits Kyle.
Yes,
they make contact. Is he giving back the position?
Yeah.
He is. That is great sportsmanship.
That is really good. And we do like to see that.
That's what we like to see. South tapping Kyle there. Goes Kyle going on the grass, but gives the position back. Fair play.
Fair play in league racing. Things you'd love to see. I'm going to look in the chat again. If someone wants to have the focus on another driver, but currently, as obvious, the battle for 5th.
Ooh,
and they touch again.
Kyle lacks a good exit there.
And you've got to be.
And now ERS
really
is on the Ferrari's side.
He's too far away. He's too far away.
He was before, but he's closed the gap now. Very good exit, and they touch again.
Oh dear, yeah, and they touch again. He keeps it out of the wall. A good measure.
If Kyle wasn't there, that was a great exit, and he would have been ahead.
He's really defending for his life here. They both have similar penalties. Actually, Kyle, I don't know. I've not checked them yet. Oh yeah, Kyle has 3 penalties. Oh, they touch again. What is going on? The 2 drivers coming together.
This is the battle that the race lacked, and Kyle lets him pass. Is that the battle that the race was lacking the whole time? And there's a Haas.
Yeah, and I'm seeing
It's-
it right now.
It's Diaz.
It's yes. Has he got a puncture?
I don't think he does. I think he just
He
spun.
has damage. He is damaged. And he's losing the time.
He does have damage. Is that the
I
race
know.
gone?
Is that
Can
yeah?
he last one more lap? This is lap 28 of 29. I can't see why he would need to pit now.
And looking in the chat, Ali calling us unprofessional. Thank you, we appreciate it.
Wow. Does that put a twist to the end
So
of the race
9
here?
seconds between Franchise and Diaz. Diaz gets a penalty. This throws it right into the
Could
mix
there
again.
be
How many
a
penalties?
last lap
Yeah.
Lando with the racing point? Let's go on board with him for a bit.
His first, has he just got another penalty? It said penalty again for me. I don't know. No, he's only got one penalty. Franchise, on the other hand, has got a penalty
The
as well.
gap is closing and closing between the two cars out front as Diaz about to cross the line to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Can he hold on?
I think he can. He's not got a penalty disadvantage to Franchise, and Franchise would have to overtake him on track. It's 8 seconds between them, and I don't think Franchise has got that in store for us here, because he would have to overtake him on this lap.
Visible
And-
damage for the Haas there. The end plate of his
Yeah.
front left completely gone.
But that's not going to lose you 8 places and the place. Not going to use you 8 seconds and the place in one lap. He will win
We
it
hope it won't.
if he doesn't. If he doesn't.
As long as he keeps the car on the track,
Yeah.
he should be home for the first win of the season.
Keeps 8 seconds here, even though we've got damage.
I mean, even still to keep that gap with
Yeah.
damage, that's an incredible
Got
feat.
into- We can see Diaz using no ERS here. He's got 75% on the last lap. So he might
Does he
not
know
want
that
to-
it's in his hands?
Yeah, now he's using overtake. I think he's giving all now. Yeah.
Into the last few turns. It's been a topsy-turvy Grand Prix,
Lots of
but as we know in
incidents.
racing, expect the unexpected. As he comes across the final turn,
And in
it's
tier
been
2
a
of
dominant
season 3,
drive by a dominant driver. Diaz in the Haas car crosses the line to win the OSRL Season 3 opener at Australia.
And yeah,
What a
congrats
drive.
to the driver in the Haas, the UAE driver, with his first win of the season, goes top of the table, and the fans in the chat are absolutely loving it. Taco goes second on penalties, Franchise in third, as we obviously pray for Franchise. He is Lebanon based. Our prayers go to him and all people affected in those sad times, obviously.
That's a great drive from Diaz there, leading from lap 1. As
Lucas
South
in
does get a
fourth.
5-second penalty for an unserved penalty.
Yeah, that keeps him in 5th though. And Jay actually misses out by 3/10. Yeah. Rita in 7th. Crosses the line. Actually has crossed the line, it just doesn't show up for me. No, because Reza, for some reason, is dropping down the order. Is it showing up for you that Reza's crossed the line?
No, it hasn't.
I hope that's not going to be a race changing bug. Now he has, and he gets that place back. He finishes 7th.
I think Carl went
Coco
into low
gets the
fuel
last-
mode at the end of the race, dropped to
yeah,
9th.
I told you. I told you he was low on fuel. He had to save all the time, and that's heartbreak. Still, it's 9th though, and Coco is finishing in 10th. Lucas, the R3, gets driver of the day. I think that's well deserved. Started in last. And as I told you in qualifying, maybe we'll see if Sebastian Vettel drive from him. And he's definitely delivered. What a drive. And well deserved driver of the day. And now on the podium we can see the UAE driver Diaz winning.
Well, that was a great start to the season.
Yeah, and we are, yeah. Who's your driver of the day?
I mean, for me, it has to be Diaz again. Led from lap 1, even after the pit window, through the safety car, even with damage, finished the race first. You can't put it past him.
And I have to agree. I think Diaz is the driver of the day here. Held on when was damaged, dominated all race. Didn't get the fastest lap because of all the tyres.
Well,
and, yeah, I think
expect
he's got the driver of
the
the day.
unexpected.
And Lucas DR finishing 4th from starting in 17th. What a drive from the German.
Great
And I
race
think-
from everyone, especially Diaz. This has been OSRL Season 3 opener. What a race, and we'll see you next week for Bahrain.